Behind the Shades.
Nope.
Right? Like, because if it worked that way, then many people would be going through, then everyone would essentially be going through the same issues, right? Like you mentioned, like cheating, for example. That means every single person would be going on cheating because it doesn't work that way. And earlier in my career, when I was helping people, I spoke to one lady and she cheated on her husband. And then in turn, her husband ended up cheating on her. But when the husband cheated, the
She
woman that
left.
he cheated with got pregnant.
Oh,
So now there's that consequence, right? So people were telling her to leave, but in her mind, she's like, how can I leave when he took me back when I cheated first? So she was trying to like rationalize her situation. So what are your thoughts on something like that?
that's a tough one. That was my wife's biggest fear is that I was going to go do it for revenge. And I think in that situation, it definitely would probably have to be for revenge. Because it's a painful thing to go through. When I found out and we worked on it, it was very painful to me. And I sit back and I go, I couldn't let her, go through that, what I just did. Like it sucked. But I mean, everything comes down to intent.
Absolutely. And even if you, let's say in some alternate universe, right? Someone says, okay, I'm going to agree. You're allowed to cheat on me one time. I'm the type of person, when I think about that, I'm like, okay, the person you select, were they always in your back pocket?
That's a good question.
Right. But how many men would actually ask that? Because men, we don't ever want to hear the answer to that.
Right. See, and that's a good point because there's my wife had told me that there was never anything sexual. It was just emotional. It was just somebody, she would go to. And honestly, I don't even want to know if it was anything more than that. I don't want to know. I'm past it. I'm over it, and uh oh man, I don't know. that you're right. That's one of those things. Sometimes we just don't want to know the answers.
Oh yeah, we don't. It's not like those movies where they give you every detail, every position, and you're like, oh my lord, please stop.
But then of course the woman, she's gonna want to know everything.
Everything, everything. I dated someone in high school, and I was told she cheated on me when she went on vacation. We only dated a few months, and it's high school, so it's not really, but it's still important, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Um, and then when I asked her about it, she denied it, and then eventually it came out. She told me sorry. And then she started to like tell me what was going on. I was like, let me stop you right here. You admitting is enough right now. I don't need to know what exactly was done or anything of that nature. But you're right. Like if it was reverse, because she was asking, she's like, you don't want to know? She's like, I would want to know. I'm like, but what is knowing the intricate nature of it? What does that do for you? That was always my curiosity.
Just adds fuel to the fire. I
Yeah,
don't.
like they could just be like, you did this with her, you don't do this with me. But you're absolutely right. It's something where it's like, okay, you did it. What can we do to get past it? And as I got older in age, it wasn't the end all and be all cheating that I thought it was when I was in my 20s. I began to realize, like many other things, you can work through it. If as long as both people are willing, let's have a conversation similar to you and your wife at that time. But was that difficult for you to sit down and have that conversation?
Yeah, it was. I mean, as men, what is the last thing we want to be? The last thing men want to be is vulnerable. We're supposed to be this strong, stand your ground and be fierce, all the time. But I think it gets to a point, men, we have to show our soft side. We have to, um, that's I don't even know where I was going with that thought, but it's all about, we don't want to be vulnerable, but sometimes we have to be. We have to put ourselves in those situations where we have to admit to ourselves and everybody else that we fuck up, we mess up. I don't know if I was allowed to cuss.
No, you are. So swear away,
cool.
my friend. Swear away.
I'm a pirate. But
And
yeah,
that's-
it all comes down to vulnerability. Vulnerability, accountability, and just admitting when you're wrong.
I think that would go a long way for a lot of men, especially when it comes to the pain that we go through. You look at the stats, look at the numbers. Men suffer on so many different levels and so many different ways when it comes to our female counterparts. And that whole thing about I'm a man, I'm supposed to be strong, I can't feel this. One of the most devastating things that I can think of that can happen to man is chaos or maybe discomfort in his own household. With someone that he has decided to say, that's the person I want to love, that's the person that I want to love me. And we value our peace, and it's unfortunate that so many of us will say, you know what, I'm going to suffer in silence and I can't reach out to anyone else.
Well, I think I guess that would depend on, I guess, your situation. That's the thing I like the most about my wife is, so the area I'm sitting in now, we bought the house we're in just because of this area. I mean, it's my office. It's got its own bathroom. It's got its own heater, so my wife knows that I enjoy my peace. I enjoy being by myself. I enjoy doing these things. But at the same time, she also has things she enjoys. She has, so I think couples, not even couples, I think everybody nowadays is just so, I remember when I was a kid, my parents went and did everything together. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have, I think we've allowed social media and everything to just come in between our relationships. Everything is so easy. Oh, I can flip through Facebook and find my next husband, or like this girl's photo on, and it's sad that we've just lost connection with even our own families.